To get rid of those pesky ads, request stories, listen to unlisted and bonus episodes, and to chat with the gang, support us by clicking the description link.
Because this is part 2 of a story that we've done, the Ronald Gene Simmons one. Mm-hmm. And when did y'all listen to that one, Jen?
Thursday.
So it's pretty fresh in your mind. So I'll probably get you to recap it.
No.
Just cannot say that.
Am I selecting the next person on the list, or are we just gonna do it for 4th of July?
Mom wanted to dedicate it to John.
Oh, well, we can dedicate it to John. He's like, yeah, love me.
Wait, whose shot is this? Whose shot is that?
You have mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got yours. That's good. I spit in it. I can hold it if you're doing the bongo thing.
Yeah, put it right here.
Why is hers a different color?
It's a mix of things.
Oh, God.
Oh, look at these shot glasses that they have.
That's right.
Nicole.
Look at these.
What are they?
Lizzie Borden.
To prove that I actually went to the house.
That house
The house is being sold? It will still stay a museum, though, right? Okay, good. I haven't been. I've never been to a museum.
I would only go in if we got a fund if I was paid to, and if you guys came with me.
It's not a haunted house, Jen.
Yes, it is. That place is haunted as fuck. It is. Look it up. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Jen's mom. Thank you.
You know you can call her by her name. Her name is Jackie.
Jackie. I know her name.
Was there ginger ale in that?
No, but that was a nice combination. It did taste like ginger ale. That was weird. There was.
What was it?
It was
Very
pink
tart.
lemonade and green apple.
Ooh.
All right, Jen's going to recap the story for us. Hopefully you guys had heard the first one, Ronald Gene Simmons. If not, then Jen is going to do a great job recapping it.
Ronald Gene Simmons was a military man, and he killed his family, and including his son.
Don't add it. It's
Curdles.
curdling
It's
a little
curdling.
bit. Shit.
You should have known better.
I know I should have known better. God. Oh, well. It's fine. I'll still drink it.
Oh,
Quickly.
God bless you. He killed his son, Junior, and who was 29 at the time, and his wife, and was the daughter the daughter was crying, and he killed her. They called it, like, he said it wasn't like strangling, it was like he made a weird noise. Yeah, smashing a bird. And he was a pretty shitty husband. And then he started having relations with his daughter, and she was impregnated by him.
Did y'all see that coming?
No.
Crazy.
And that's the last thing I remember was that he was
He murdered the eldest son, and then he murdered
the baby.
the wife.
The wife.
Yeah, he murdered his wife.
And then you left it off with the granddaughter crying in the room next door. This is Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about that.
I thought you did because it was like smothering a bird.
Oh, maybe you did. I was trying to think, couldn't remember if you talked about her being.
That was the eldest son's kid. So you are talking about little Barbara Simmons, his granddaughter. And that was where I stopped. So he killed her. Quote, this is from Ryan Green's book. He could still feel the warm meat of her throat caught between his worn hands and the desperate fluttering of her heartbeat where his fingertips bit into her flesh. He could feel her bones grinding in his grip. Wow, I just started that off.
I'm just trying to drink this really fast because it's curdling and that's settling.
Want some
Not
water?
so great in my stomach.
I also talked about, to recap you guys, this is where he would throw the bodies, and this is a cesspit, so it's literally poo-poo and pee-pee in this pit.
Yeah, when we stopped at Buc-ee's, my mom was like, my mom was fast asleep, and I was like, it's overwhelming in there, and she was like, is it like the pee pit in the other store? And I was like, no, it's much better than that, but it's just very overwhelming. She was fast asleep, and I told her, and then it was just an adventure. She was like, okay, I'll go to the bathroom.
She said, I did it all by myself.
She was gone for 15 minutes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? She get abducted in the Buc-ee's, and then she came out. She's like, you have to come in. I was like, I've already been in there. Let's go. It was like 2:30 in the morning.
Was there any holes in there? Glory holes, sorry.
Not in the women's room.
Oh yeah, those are in the men's room, right?
Probably.
I've never seen one up close.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
You sound you sound disappointed.
Maybe
though.
like don't put your eye in the That's in a movie, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's Euro Trip, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh Jesus.
Or Road Trip or something. One of those two.
All right. So, hey from the UK, Unwired Emmy.
Hey, Emmy.
What's up? Wow.
The amount
a
of-
lot of people from across the pond
Yeah,
today.
the amount of people that tune in from the UK is heartwarming to me because I just love them.
Hey, this is going to sound ignorant, but do y'all
No, they
do y'all
don't.
in the UK
Don't-
celebrate
don't.
4th of
They
July?
don't.
They
They
don't?
don't.
Oh, that's just America?
Yeah.
What about Canada?
No, it's an American holiday. It's Constitution, the day the Constitution was signed.
I mean, I know that.
The Declaration of Independence. We did this last time. We had this exact conversation last year.
That's why I said the Declaration of Independence. That's exactly what I said.
All right, so my name is John. I'm here with Jen and Naquiz. This is Talk Murder Me podcast.
And my mom.
And Jen's mom. So we're going to do part 2 of Ronald Gene Simmons. I'm going to kind of just recap a little bit. I started the whole episode last time around, it's the Christmas holiday. Not only that, but Ronald Gene Simmons is impossible. You think maybe your dad is bad or something like that. Ronald Gene Simmons at the time is unbearable. None of his kids want to see him. I started the story around this. I want to really drive this home. Ronald Gene Simmons at this point is unbearable. Not only that, he moved his entire family to a small town where everyone is against him, at least in his own mind. People don't like him. No one likes him, but no one's against him. But he thinks in his paranoia that everyone's out to get him. And he's losing the one thing that he needs as a Vietnam vet with a Distinguished Vietnam Cross. There's one thing he needs, one word. It starts with a C and ends with an control. He needs control. At all times, he needs to control everything. Vietnam vet, he needs control. And we did talk about him impregnating his own daughter, his first daughter. And she's going to come into play. That daughter is, in his mind, the reason for all his bad happenings. The reason he's broke. The reason he's out in this little trailer drinking in his room is because his first daughter. But it's not that he thought she was sexy or something. I mean, that's his daughter, his own blood. But he wanted to control. He wanted to be the alpha male of his home. And he was until all his kids left. And the one way to do that is to have all the women. That's why he did that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a tiger nest or whatever. The tiger's got all the female tigeresses. That's how you know that he's the alpha, right? So that is going through his mind. But at this point, his whole family has left him. The only reason they're coming back to see him, the only reason is for the mother, Becky, that has put up with this and put up with the abuse, the physical abuse, the impregnation of her daughter. He was treating her daughter better than he was treating his wife. I mean, think about the jealousy with that. Because he also expected the whole family just to be okay with it. Oh, yeah, this is happening now.
That's like a reverse Electra complex.
Fucking crazy, right? So
I cannot imagine.
Yeah, I would want no part of that.
Anyway, the whole story last time was basically starting around the one thing that the mother wanted, which was to spend one last Christmas, and she got her wish, one last Christmas with the whole family. And that family is big. There's 14 people in that family. Ronald Gene Simmons, on the other hand, as a family annihilator, because this is what he's considered family annihilator. It's almost like you give up and you brought all these beings in the world. You made this. This is all yours. So once you're done, they're done too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the mindset to that. We've done a couple of family annihilators, but in his mind, his Christmas wish was to eliminate the entire family. That was his wish. No one knew that at the time.
Because he was losing control of his family.
And he planned this meticulously. Think about it. You have 14 people you have to kill that are all coming in the Christmas break. How are you going to do that? Kill all 14 successfully without, because as soon as someone thinks something's going on or can't contact the mom or something, they're going to get suspicious, he planned this thing with great effort. We stopped last time where his oldest son, firstborn, came in, JR. JR came in because his daughter, his flesh and blood, was staying with JR's father, Ronald Gene Simmons. I know this is confusing. Ronald Gene Simmons' granddaughter. He comes in and he starts his Christmas wish. He kills his own son. He kills his wife next, and then he kills the grandbaby, 3-year-old. Crushed her like a little bird. He throws him in the cesspit, but the granddaughter peed all over herself. And he, for some reason, he just ew, gross, urine. I don't want to touch that. He throws her in a trash bag, and she actually ends up not in the cesspit, but in the trunk of a car. I do want to say, when you think about this, the positioning of the bodies is really what I want you guys to think about, because he didn't just kill them and throw them all in the pit. The way he positioned them, this is a prime example right here. In his mind, he may not even knew about this, but subconsciously, here's one of the bodies right here. Does that not look like is under the Christmas tree almost?
Yeah.
Ooh, don't like that.
A present under the Christmas tree. That's his wife right there. Present under the tree.
So he never moved her out to that pit.
Never moved. Well, no, he did. Yeah, he did move her out to the pit. When they found the bodies, there were 7 in the cesspit. The cesspit, like I said, was this. And I think I have an image of them actually pulling one out. Oh, yeah, that's one of the body right there. Those are the bodies.
Wow.
Another thing about the positioning, all 7 that were in there, and there were selective 7. Obviously, Sheila, his daughter, the one that he loved, isn't going to go into the pit. She's going to be somewhere else, right? So what I'm trying to say is, the bodies in the cesspit were stacked on top of each other. 1, 2, 3. They were literally stacked like a pancake. And he did that on purpose. He may have not have known he did it, but in the trunk were the 2 smallest children. In each trunk of those 2 cars were the 2 smallest children. So you can't tell me that he didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
like
interesting.
Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kaylee Anthony.
So just think about that when we do this story, because the psychology behind him is pretty crazy to think about. So anyway, you guys ready to get on this?
Yep.
I got another beer, so I'm
Ready
to go.
This is the home, the trailer right here. You guys saw that last time. This is where all this takes place.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, Ronald Gene Simmons has quit his job, and he is drinking up his last few dollars. He is in a room, his own room, with the master room with his wife used to be, but the wife is finally done. She's tried to leave so many times. But all the kids, and she's out there, in the literally nowhere to run. She takes a cot and is sleeping in the son's room. There's 4 that are still living, that are his biological, that are still living at the house. And
did you know that they stopped calling them master bedrooms and started calling them owner's rooms or owner's suites? I think it has something to do with
Interesting.
slavery.
This is the cars right here. In the trunk of each car was one of the grandbabies. It's just interesting to me that the grandbabies were in the car. It's just...
He didn't put them in the pit, which is interesting.
But what was he going to do with the cars?
No, so...
He was just going to leave them in there?
His life is over.
He's
he's
doing this
content
knowing
now.
he's going to die.
He is content. Look at this smile. He doesn't care he doesn't care about the cars.
Dirty old man.
He has got he's got his Christmas wish. So did his wife. She wanted the last Christmas with the family. The whole family was in the cesspit.
You know what's weird is he looks like Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, the guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Kind of.
You don't see it?
Yeah, he's a white man.
I I think he could definitely play the town Santa Claus.
The cars weren't running. He wasn't going to drive them anywhere. The cars were basically stripped already. The cars were just spare parts. Yeah, they're junkers. Yeah, you strip them down. Literally every part has been stripped that was of any value that he could get. The cars ain't moving. He ain't gonna tow them. So it's not like he was trying to hide this. He ain't got nowhere to go. He was going to kill his family and then sit in the room until the liquor runs out, until the beer runs out, and then, I don't know, probably go turn himself in, I'd imagine. The truth is, he was hushed the whole time up until they killed him, his death. He didn't say anything. He didn't want to say anything. He was happy. He didn't care about him getting caught. He knew he was going to get caught. As long as he killed his family, that was his only concern. And he got to kill all of them. Not just one or two or his wife. He's got to kill every one of them. That's what a family annihilator is. They got to take them all out. Because he can't be in prison behind bars knowing that he's got a son that made it out. No, that would drive him nuts. He's got to take them all out. Crazy. But that's a good question. Yeah, so he didn't care. He knew they were going to find him eventually.
But it is interesting. I don't know if it was like a subconscious thing and he didn't want the babies to be with the rest of the bodies, or I don't know.
He didn't care about those babies. But
it is kind of strange, don't you think?
Maybe he thought that it was like a safe place as opposed to throwing him in the cesspool.
I don't know.
That's what I wanted you guys to definitely pay attention to, is the positioning. Now, I did stop last episode with he just killed his granddaughter, crushed her like a bird. And then, it's about 4 o'clock. The kids should be getting home. His own kids, his flesh and blood kids, getting home from school. The bus, and that's where I stopped it, I believe. The bus has just pulled up. It's 4 in the afternoon.
This is not Christmas Day. This is before Christmas.
Yeah,
right.
So
okay, that's right.
The murders take place December 22nd is
Leading
when
up
all
to.
these has taken place.
Got it.
We haven't went anywhere else yet.
Got it. Okay.
The next murders come in when the family gets there.
Starts arriving for the holiday.
They actually get there on December 26th. So between the 22nd and the 26th, those bodies are sitting there. And if you saw the body under the tree, that's by his favorite chair. For 4 days, he's drinking his beer with that body sitting there. And it wasn't in a body bag. He did put the jacket over, but that was probably just, so he didn't have to look at it. He's sitting there drinking with the bodies right there. So the bus comes, and y'all saw the property last time. Remember, it's up the hill. The hill is called Mockingbird Hill, which is very confusing because it is a trailer up on a hill. Nothing wrong with trailers, but I'm saying Mockingbird Hill sounds all elegant.
Yeah. I have the song running up that hill stuck in my head now.
What is it? How's it go?
If only could.
That's from Stranger. That's been like all through Stranger Things this season. See, Jen, you would love the show.
Well, I only heard the song because it was playing on my favorite app, and I listened.
Because it was on Stranger Things, I bet.
Yeah.
Over it.
You guys are going to find this despicable, what he does next. How would you kill 4 family members that are all running up the hill at the same time? You're not going to go out there and just bow, 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 even though he was a expert shot. You're not going to do that. What's the fun in that? There's no fun in that anyway.
I mean, I don't think that killing people is fun but
what I'm trying to say is, how would you separate them? How would you kill each one of them without the other one knowing? So you can take your time and see the blood kind of drain from the eyes.
Hypothetically?
Yeah, how would you separate them and have
I'd send them on a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came to me so quickly. That's a little concerning.
Yes. Oh, God. Jen's mom Jen's mom said, like a grenade.
She's been watching too much Peaky Blinders. That's her problem. She's all blood and gore now.
Grenade? What the fuck?
Lauren says a bow and arrow or
Please don't tell me you have grenades in your home.
I don't have any ammunition in my home.
Coming out the bus, running up the hill. It's Christmas. School's over. It's Christmas time, and the family is not rich. So they're not expecting much. But, they get to play with each other. They have a lot of land to play on, even though they were restricted from talking to any neighbors, as we'll get into. But coming up the hill, excited to be off school, was Loretta Simmons. That's That's the oldest of the girls still living at home. So the second daughter born. Loretta Simmons, 17. Eddie Simmons, 14. Marianne Simmons, 11. And Rebecca Simmons, 8. Eddie being the only male there. So these are all 4 his and Becky's children. There's a lot to this family. 14. You got to go 14. There's a lot of children. He needed to separate them all. They're running up the hill and they're excited. They're a little weirded out because their father has never met them halfway down the hill running up with a smile, especially with a smile on his face.
Oh, this makes me sick. I don't like it. Go ahead.
Okay, we can stop.
No.
This is like episode 350.
You know me. Any crimes against children are upsetting to me.
The kids were confused. He never showed them any attention. He never cared enough to even say hey to him coming in the door, you know, especially coming outside with a smile on his face. He says the following, quote, "There's a special surprise for each of you, but your mom wants to see each of you enjoy your own. So come through one at a time, and once the other is done, I'll come and fetch you."
No, I do not like that. I don't like it. I do not.
This guy is freaking twisted.
Well, you know them Vietnam. I'm just kidding. Vietnam.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Jen's mom said the grenade would be better. It honestly would have. Yeah, you're about to see.
He is wanting to enjoy this slow and torturously, one by one.
Welcome to the Taco Fam, Shramarama.
Oh, Shramarama. Thank you. Taco.
One time-o.
What's that?
One time.
One and done. She's a one and done.
That's the I'm poro. No, we appreciate it. I'm not making fun of you. I'm
for
also
real.
poor.
Like it means
It does. It means a lot.
Un poquito taco.
Yes.
All right.
Taquito.
Taquito.
Not only that, and this makes it a little better, Jen. Wait till the other one's done. I'll come get you. But he did take the family radio outside and have some Christmas carols playing on the radio. So they're outside on the porch listening to Christmas carols. Oh my God, look at Jen's face. She's like fuming right now.
I'm like literally about to start angry crying. I think like I literally am just getting so emotional. Like I feel like this is, if you were to write a book about how like what makes each thing worse, he's probably going to drag this out too, just to see how long it takes before I start to cry.
I would never do that. Can you describe the first? This is the first. Loretta. She's the first that's going to go.
Oh, poor thing.
She looks like she's a early teens.
Yeah.
There's a really beautiful picture of her that I'm going to show you now.
Long.
It's really gorgeous.
Long brown hair with bangs. Maybe she's like 15, 16.
17, I'd say.
Yeah.
That looks like a senior picture, yeah.
Yeah, she's 17.
She does look like a
wow.
lot like her mom,
Oh, that's a good point.
right?
I didn't see the
This
mom
is
before,
a beautiful
but sure.
picture right here. So it's really sad. And obviously, as you know, he's killed them all. So she's going to be
It's
first.
not sad because she's beautiful. Let me clarify, because I
know.
know Ashley made that comment last episode. It's just sad that any young person in particular
Yeah,
loses
that is
their
the thing with true crime. I did see that too. Like everyone says, oh, she was a beautiful young girl. And I know that kind of objectifies or
Yeah.
something. But I mean,
That happens with men
But you
too.
can have a
yeah.
beautiful soul. Like anytime anyone has a beautiful soul, I mean, anytime anyone dies, it's sad. I think I've said this hundreds of times, but I don't know, descriptors.
It's hard. Yeah, describing someone is actually a lot harder than you would imagine,
That's why I try to stick to celebrity lookalikes.
and
Doesn't always work.
yeah.
she goes in the house. She's excited. He's like, come on. Takes her back outside. The family has a cesspit. They don't have running water either. You guys understand that, right? So I don't know if you guys ever grew up on a farm. I mean, we had running water on the farm.
Did you have a cesspit?
Would define cess.
Did you poo outside?
But
With the cows.
if you don't have running water in the house, you need a water barrel. Do you know what a water barrel is?
Is it like a chamber pot? No, that's different. A water barrel, you have fresh water, right? That's the fresh
Yeah.
water.
Like where you pump water?
No.
No.
You have
It's-
fresh water and you take from it
It's
and you like pour it over your head to shower, right?
No. It's a little bit larger than a bathtub. It's all metal, and that's exactly what it looks like. It's just a long trough looking.
Oh, a trough, yeah.
Well, not a trough per se. It's shaped as a bathtub. It's
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit larger. It collects rainwater, so you can drink it. Rainwater's fresh.
I thought
Bathe
you
in
weren't
it.
supposed to drink rainwater.
Well,
No,
if
you can.
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
You can also drink your own pee, which I recommend.
Nope. don't.
Well, I for some reason I've always known, like I'm educated. I knew that urine, it comes from the kidneys, but I used to think that it was more so associated with like defecating, so it grossed me out. But then when I like finally realized, I was like, oh wait, it's a kidney product. It's not that bad.
Well, it's a product of what you've consumed.
I'm not saying I would drink it by choice. I'm just saying I wouldn't be as grossed out if I was put in the position.
Wait, y'all's pee doesn't come out your buttholes? No.
Yours doesn't
No,
either.
only you. Only you, and you've got a medical problem, apparently.
All right, if you want to read this, basically the water catcher, the water barrel catches rainwater and is filled up. Obviously, they need that. It's right outside the trailer on the other side. So basically, right 20 yards away or less on the other side. Remember, the other three kids are on the porch listening to Christmas carols, so they don't hear anything.
I forgot about that for a second.
She goes through the house following Daddy, and then Daddy takes her outside to the rainwater, and then she's like, "Where's Mommy?" I mean, she's 17, but still, where's Mom?
Yeah.
Where's Mom at? If you want to read this. This is from Ryan Green's book.
We do a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah, he's a pretty good writer. I like him.
Ronald grabbed a handful of her hair and shoved her face through the ice on the top of the water barrel. She bucked and tried to get a grip on the barrel's edge to pull herself out, but that first gasp of shock when the cold water hit her face had already done half the work of drowning her.
We all know you don't need to be submerged in water to drown.
Right.
He had plenty of bullets, just letting you guys know. He did this for some other reason. At this point, Loretta, 17 years old, his own daughter, is scratching for air. She was one of the fighters. She actually scratched his arm. She was the one to worry about. She's the oldest. She's the strongest. She just bucks once he shoves her head down in that ice water. She's bucking to get out. But Ronald, and he's not a very big man. She is a female, 17, smaller. But you don't really need to be, because he's not using his hand to do it. He's using his hand, yeah, but he's leaning up against her. He's putting his whole body weight on her. He's basically pinning her down, and she's submerged in the water. Does that make sense? Using his whole being to keep her down. Because number one, he doesn't want her to come back up and scream, alert the other kids. So he thought long and hard about how to do this. She does scratch him, but he doesn't care. Once her body goes limp, he actually takes it one step further. The whole tub has a metal lid on it. She's limp now. She's basically dead or about to be dead. He kind of pulls her up and puts her neck on that metal lid and just basically punches it down and snaps it. So she's done. She is done.
Like, it wasn't enough to drown her.
That is one.
Wow.
Well, you got to understand, he is on a mission. This is like Vietnam stuff. This is life or death for him.
If it was Vietnam stuff, you said he has enough ammunition. Like, why?
Because if you shoot one, they'll run. You got to be strategic. He's got to kill all 14 members strategically. And he got really quiet. The next to go was Eddie. All right, Eddie, come on in here. Mama's waiting for you. Mama's got a good thing for you. This is Eddie right here. Mama's got something good for you. He actually seemed to not be okay with it, but he accepted it. He struggled the least out of the other siblings at all. I mean, he just kind of accepted it. Eddie was 14, so he's the second child. Marianne, she was next. She's a fighter too, just like her older sister. That's her.
So young.
Yeah, she is. 11, that's young. She fought really hard. Ultimately, she couldn't fight hard enough. The bodies were out there. As soon as they walk out the door, it's like, there's my sister's body. There's my older brother's corpse. It's immediately grab the back of her mane and shove her in there. It's like quick at this point,
They know as soon as they walk in.
Yeah, because it's not like he I gotta haul his body off and then go.
That's what I was wondering.
No, the body's there. The body's still literally floating in the water, just kind of like pushed off. Like, they know what's coming as soon as they walk out the back door. Mama ain't there with no present. Is Daddy gonna kill me? They know that. Little Becky was next, and this one's messed up. They're all messed up. This is little Becky. This is terrible right here. She's actually too small to fit, and she couldn't
Get over the
water barrel. So he had to think of something else. She was too small, and he didn't want to lift her up. When he pushed her against the water barrel, her head didn't even clear the railing. So what he did is, he took her hand, and she is 8, Rebecca Simmons. This is his, at this point, youngest daughter, 8-year-old, takes her hand, leads her over to the cesspit with all the other bodies, the mother, like everyone's over there, leads her there. Soon as she sees the bodies, she starts crying. Obviously, she knows what's going on. She's probably like, Daddy, what's going on, type of thing. He picks her up. He starts squeezing her neck. Her face completely purple, eyes rolled up. She was completely submissive. It was almost like she was just accepting her fate. He just choked her out, threw her right in the cesspit with all the other bodies, got some more kerosene, poured it over the bodies. The kerosene was to cover the smell. And it's not even to cover the smell, not to get in trouble. It's because he didn't want his dogs, Bo and Duke, to go over there and mess with the bodies. That's his artwork. He didn't want some dogs, mangly mutts, to go mess everything up. He's got these things positioned the way he wants to, covered it with a tarp, and now he's got 4 days of drinking.
Until the next
one is 26, stuff. Yeah. So we're actually starting that one right now. So you guys like this or hate this?
Just keep it going.
Like I've always said, I like the way you tell the stories. I don't like the stories.
Billy, his wife. So Billy is a son. They got a lot of family. So just bear with me. Billy, his son, his wife, Billy's wife, Renata, and their youngest, a 1-year-old, William Simmons III. They called him Trey. Trae. 1-year-old. So this is Ronald Gene Simmons' grandson. Yeah, that's what I meant. Grandson. This is Ronald Gene Simmons' grandson. They're next. Now, this is 4 days later. He actually went to the bar, too, during this time. I guess he got tired of the smell of the bodies or whatever. But they come in next, and this is December 26, 1987. First in the door was Billy, like you do. The man kind of walks in, has the wife's hand behind his back type of thing. And then Trey was outside. Because they've been riding in the car forever. Like, he wants to get out and just kind of, finally. He's 1 year old. I can't go very far, but he's outside still. Ronald Gene Simmons had planned these out too, but he wasn't going to take any chances because he knows Billy's kind of strong. He didn't want any chance of getting overpowered by his own son. As soon as Billy walks in, his wife in tow, Billy sees that present under the Christmas tree. His own mom, sees the present under the Christmas tree. He gasps. Then he sees his dad. But before he could say anything, because he was hiding, Ronald Gene Simmons was hiding behind the door, he shoots him right in the chest. Boom. Bullet tears through his chest, bounces around the ribs, and pierces his heart. Now, in Ryan Green's book, he does mention that Ronald Gene Simmons actually waited for his son to see him, gasped and everything, but he wanted to see his son. It's not like, you see in the movies, like, you ain't gonna shoot me, and you look into their eyes and then they don't shoot. Like, he wanted to make that eye contact. He wanted to let you know that, okay, I'm in control. I decide the family in, so this is it. I want to make sure you understand that. Are we cool? Type of thing, Crazy.
Renata was a brave girl. When she saw her husband hurt, she rushed forward to help him. She was a pretty thing, too. Lovely, thick hair. It was a shame that the far side of it filled up so suddenly with fragments of skull and juicy pink brain matter as the bullet tore through her head.
That was pretty descriptive. Jesus Christ.
I've already blocked it out.
Blocked it out. You think about them Jello shots you're gonna do. You gonna seriously do Jello shots with your mom?
Yeah, isn't that on your bucket list?
Jen's mom's gonna be like, let's do body shots. Like, what? She's like doing keg stands. I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
I don't know. If it was like a keg full of wine, my mom might do a keg stand. You don't really drink beer. You will. You like Guinness.
So now who's left? He just shot the wife. You would do that too. Your husband, like me, if I was to get shot and you knew someone just shot me, I would think you would fall over me and see if I'm okay. Even though you're next, you'd run.
No, of course I would check on you.
There you go. The 1-year-old outside is playing with butterflies and he hears the shots. So, he's going to come and see what mommy and daddy are doing and what's these loud noises. You think he's going to let little 1-year-old Trey get away?
Nope.
This is when Ronald Gene Simmons walks out the front door and sees little 1-year-old Trey. That motherfucker, he pissed himself. Why are all these damn kids pissing themselves? That's what he's thinking. Piss, He walks out the front door. At this point, Trey has lost like all feeling in his legs. He is on the ground. 1 year old. This is what he just saw his parents, his corpse, and 1 year old. He's just in shock at 1 year old.
Well, I mean, he most likely doesn't understand what's going on.
He didn't pick...
And if you piss yourself as a 1 year old, it's not like... And I understand that this guy's not in his right mind, but that's kind of expected.
But the thing is, he is in his right mind. He is meticulously doing this. I mean, he's not like, the story we just covered.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he wanted to do this.
Well, he's evil. He's an evil fuck.
Ronald Gene Simmons is like, I am not picking up another piss child. He didn't even pick him up. The cops, and the reason they know this is because they see the drag marks with the little child's fingers dragging through the dirt. Just takes his leg, drags him behind him, so he didn't get any of that piss on him.
Is this motherfucker still alive?
Jesus Christ.
Because I'm going to go kill him.
I think he's dead.
No, he's dead.
Well,
He was killed on death row, right?
Yeah, in fact, it's really interesting. Like I said, he didn't really care. If you see him, he just doesn't care. I mean, he's happy.
He wanted to die.
And death row is set up like this. I don't know if you know this, Jen's mom, but if you get on death row, if you're committed to death or they convict you to the death penalty, an appeal is automatically filed, like immediately. It's an automatic process. So he said, I don't want an appeal. Don't give me an appeal. But that's never been done before. So now it opens up a new can of worms where, like, how is it going to work? Like, you have to have an appeal, and I don't want one. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but this case is a milestone for that.
could you argue that if he wants to die and he's on death row and he doesn't want an appeal, by killing him and executing him would be assisted suicide?
Yeah, I mean...
No, it's a good question.
You throw him on the tracks like old Bill. This is Arkansas. Bill Clinton.
Bill.
Just
Anyway,
wondering.
all right. He drags this boy's body. He's got pee all over him, just drags him, and they see the fingerprints dragging in the dirt. Drags him all the way over to the water barrel. His, I guess it'd be cousin or whatever. All the other kids are there, the cousins. His cousins are all there, dead. The corpses are there. This kid's still in shock. He just takes his ankle and just throws him in. Doesn't even hold his head down or anything. He just picks him up. He's light, chunks him in the water. He was so small that he just left him in there, and the child just floated to the bottom. Or not floated, but sunk. The child just sunk to the bottom. He didn't take up much space. So that's good. So now he's just got to wait for the next round to come in, right? So the family's all coming in. This is a photo I was looking for earlier. This is them pulling out the bodies in the trunk. So Trey was found in one of these, and then the other one was little Becky. So the grandchildren were in the trunk. Each one had their own trunk. Now,
That's interesting if he gave each grandchild their own trunk of a car, but the other bodies he piled on top of each other in the cesspit.
I know. That's what I was saying earlier. It seems odd.
yeah, last time we talked about...
the whole thing is odd.
Well,
Let me
yeah.
just say, yeah.
Last time, and I'm going to brief over this real quick because we did go into detail with this last time, but this is his apple of his eye. This is his first daughter, the one that screwed everything up for him.
So how old is she at this time of the murders?
At the time that she comes in, and this is later that day, she is 24 years old. This is Sheila. Sheila was his first daughter born.
He had a lot of children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. The first daughter born, he had an incestuous relationship with Sheila. Sheila became pregnant, and her and her father have a son together.
Daddy Grandpa.
Huh?
Daddy Grandpa.
It's twisted. Yeah, they have a son together. That's his.
Would you call him Dad, or would you call him Grandpa, or would you call him Daddy Grandpa or Grandpa Daddy?
Oh, excuse me. They have
I think they just call it fucked up. And that's
Sorry.
what,
I misspoke. He got.
God. Oh.
Yeah, he got a daughter.
He got his daughter pregnant, Sheila. They have a daughter together, Sylvia. There's a lot of names here. Sylvia at the time is 6 years old. That is not only his granddaughter, but his daughter.
Daddy Grandpa.
The whole time he's anxious because it's like the girl that broke up with you, and it's like the one that got away, and you're just like, but now she's coming back, and maybe you can work things out or say something you didn't before. He loves her still. This is his own daughter. So this is a big thing. There's gonna be time invested in this. He's still got to kill her. I mean, obviously,
Family reunion.
Before I get into when they come in, the reason that Ronald Gene Simmons had to uplift his family from Cloudcroft, New Mexico, was because someone in
Wolfie.
what's up, Wolfie? Someone, most likely the first son, JR, in high school went to the authorities about his sister being molested by his father. Someone, JR most likely, basically turned the dad in. So obviously police have a problem with that. Authorities have a problem with that. Well, how do you get away with it? You uproot your family and move them to Arkansas in a little trailer. Then they can't find you or want to find you. But that also brings some problems in, right? You lose your military pension. And he was, I think, a sergeant first class or something. So that's good money. That's the only money. So now he's got to get a job. He moves to his little town. He's got to get a job. And he's all crazy anyway, like that's going to work. They had to sever all ties from Cloudcroft, New Mexico. He actually blamed his family, and more importantly, Sheila, for ruining his life, even though she refused to testify about who the baby's daddy was. She refused, and since she was 17 years old, it wasn't rape because she was at the age of consent in New Mexico.
Wait a minute. That's not necessarily true. It wasn't. You mean it wasn't statutory rape? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Statutory rape.
Okay,
I didn't mean
if it was
rape.
consensual.
Wait, did I say rape?
Yes.
I meant statutory rape. That's what I meant.
So she was at the age of consent.
Yeah.
But it's still incest.
Correct.
Well, it
But
wasn't.
Did she consent to it?
Technically, it wasn't.
Did she want to sleep with her father?
Yeah. Because I mean, think about it.
Maybe after a period of time because of your being
No. She. I mean,
Stockholm
she's
syndrome.
getting.
Yeah, like
shit.
being groomed and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I would say it's probably not, it's really not consensual because she is like being bred to think that is okay to have sex with her father.
But he wasn't like that with the other daughters.
No. He didn't like any of the other kids. The only one he loved, we read quotes. Oh, this is the only time he looked at his son is when his brains are blown out and stuff. He didn't care about these kids. Didn't care about any of them. He's got 10 of them, doesn't care about them. The only one he cares about is the one that broke his heart. Sheila, who went away with another man. We're about to get to. I'm going to go through this real fast, so you guys stay with me. This is more about his life and kind of how he got in the situation because I think it's important. Okay. He had all right, in a surviving letter from this time, one of the chilling phrases that Ronald Gene Simmons had written down was, quote, and he's talking about Sheila, his daughter that he impregnated. Quote, "You have destroyed me, and you have destroyed my trust in you. I will see you in hell." So the son goes to the guidance counselor or whatever. School counselor says, my dad's molesting my sister. He got her pregnant. She refuses to testify. He's about to go to prison or get investigated. He uproots the entire family and they move to Arkansas. All right. The whole family at this point starts to crumble because, like I said, control is the only thing that he needs and he's losing it. He leaves town. He loses his military pension. He was a master sergeant, so he's got to find a new job, but he moves to he moves to Ward, Arkansas. The nearest town is Dover, which is about 15 minutes away, population 100. To find a job, which no one knows who you are, you're from New Mexico, you just come and move into this town with a population of 100 and you're trying to find a job, good luck. No one knows who you are. This small town, you know what I'm saying? You have to know people.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Speaking of New Mexico, I think that I interact with Dee too much on Facebook because I got an advertisement for like I Heart New Mexico things the other day. So I hope Dee's doing
great.
good. Okay.
She was actually, she popped on during the Ancient Aliens episode, actually.
Yeah.
That's her jam. She loves the alien stuff.
Yeah. She sent me a book about White Sands in Mexico. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. It's very, I'm very grateful because the book was like $30. I'm very grateful she did that.
Yeah, she's great. Hope she's doing okay.
So there's no work for him, population 100, but he's a master sergeant. He's got that resume, and that's going to get you a job. They rent a house in Mockingbird Hill. That's that little freaking hill with the trailer on it. It's essentially a abandoned lot, no trespassing signs. The trailer is actually two trailers welded together. And there he makes his family start building a wall around the house. So at this point, they're taking stones and building a wall. It's like he's trying to just encapsulate everyone to keep the control.
Like building a fort.
Building a fort. He installed barbed wire on the perimeter. Like, for instance, little Becky, 8 years old, would have to carry these heavy cinder blocks. He wouldn't let any of the kids talk to any of the neighbors. He forbade his children to talk to any of the neighborhood kids or make friends with anyone at school. And he, like I said, no toilet, cesspit, all that stuff. Now, he did get a new job in a small town of Russellville, which has a larger population. This is going to be really fast, but this is very important because I said there's 16 murders, only 14 family members killed. So he's got to branch out, right? 30 miles away, he got a position as a law firm clerk. Now, a law firm clerk is pretty low in the totem pole.
Yeah, but don't you have to have some experience with law in order to get hired at a law firm? Like I
guess not a small town. A clerk can just, you talking about a paralegal?
No, I mean, I guess that
a clerk is like you
filing
the
papers
desk.
and
no, I
stuff.
doubt that. It's like answering the phone at the desk, greeting
like
people.
a receptionist.
This is the law firm he got a job at. He got a job there because, and only because, of his military experience. He's a master sergeant, and that speaks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Now, you guys probably understand that he's always had a very low view of women. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like view, what's another word for that? Not opinion.
He's always looked down on women?
He's always thought women are just, they're there for us.
A poor opinion?
Yeah.
He viewed women as like second-class citizens.
There you go.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like that book, The Second Sex.
Yeah.
The French psychologist wrote
More
it.
like A Handmaid's Tale. Living again.
Yeah. He always had a low value of women. So he starts out at the bottom of this law firm. And guess who's in charge of him? A woman.
Oh, he don't like that. He don't like that.
Kathy Kendricks. And what do we talk about? So he's got to be the alpha. He's got to get all the women. So what does he start doing? He starts flirting with her. However, she feels it's creepy. This old guy is flirting with me. His advances, what she had reported, were more abusive than flattering. She thought he was just the lowest of society. He had nothing to offer her. She was young and had the whole world ahead of her. She's had plenty of dates. Like, get away from me, you creep.
Well, he clearly hasn't watched the workplace sexual harassment video that every company has.
She reports him for
pre that time.
She reports him for lewd comments, and he was quickly fired. Now, not only was he fired as a low-paid clerk, but a woman, for real, this is making me mad thinking about it. A woman rejected him. You know what I'm saying?
How dare she?
I didn't know that we had the right to do that. Did you?
Nope, apparently not.
Huh.
Y'all better get in line. I'm surrounded by women. I better shut my mouth. Fuck.
It's just funny because tread lightly on your jokes.
It's just like because he always. That's just the way the studio is set up. But like he's over there, and the women are over here. Like, do not cross.
We're just standing. Guys versus girls.
The computer's over here.
Well, my mom could have sat there.
Which y'all can't touch, by the way.
Well, the couch is over there.
Yeah, strategically.
Yeah. I got all my stuff over here.
We can't really fit the couch. The closet's over there.
We could put a stove here. Oh, that's fucked. Maybe a dishwasher. No one's listening to this.
We break out the guns here.
He goes home. He lashes out on his wife and kids. He starts abusing them verbally, physically, and emotionally.
So that was a big trigger for him, this whole
female
job situation.
Okay. He gets a new job, despite everyone already hearing about that, because this is a small town in Russellville. Everyone kind of already knows him, but he gets a job at an oil company. A week goes by. He's fired because he's being sexually aggressive with female coworkers. The whole time in his home, when he's getting his pension, he got the women rounded up. Now he's out in the real world, in the corporate. That shit don't work. That shit don't work. That's why I can't have a corporate job. I get fired the day I got hired. I would say something stupid, like I always do. That's why I'm a podcaster.
Because we expect you to say those things. And
because we expect you to say something stupid.
I don't get fired. I just get bad reviews. All right. He gets a new job after that at the Woodline Motor Freight Company. So 3 jobs, boom, 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 because he needs money. He doesn't have any income coming in. At first, he did really well. No complaints. He was, all right, this has changed. Finally, he's got in line. He's moving up. But, whoa, they put a new supervisor over me.
Don't tell me. Was
It was a woman.
supervisor a woman?
A woman.
How dare
Oh,
they?
snap.
Yeah, no shit.
To say that Ronald and Joyce did not get along would be something of an understatement. He could not comprehend a world in which a woman was his superior, and she could not deal with an employee who completely ignored her very basic requests.
Tremor says talk misogyny to me.
That's his supervisor. So he's like trying to boss her around. It ain't working. Her name, let's get it out the way. Her last name is Butts. B-U-T-T-S. Joyce Elaine Butts. She's a woman. She found out that Ronald here, the old creep, was currently stalking Kathy Kendricks, the one at the law firm. Still, because you don't reject me. You don't. Was he just gonna be like, shit, shouldn't did that. I guess I'll just leave it alone. No, fuck that. He's showing up at her house with flowers, writing little notes. There's a 30-year age difference here between Kathy, which was 20, and him. He was fired.
Hell yeah, he was fired.
This is in one town. 3 jobs. Boom, boom, boom. Like a bowling ball, just hitting them all down. 3 jobs. Gets another job. It's actually owned by the oil guy. So kind of just, I mean, he's a veteran, Vietnam veteran. You don't want to not have him have a job. He's got a family, 4 kids in school. So he gets a job, convenience store clerk at like a Safeway. I mean, it's a small little convenience shop. I'll show you what it is. It's this right here.
Sinclair Mini Mart.
He gets a job as not even a clerk. It says clerk. He's nothing wrong with this, but he's in the gas station ringing up people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess
Cashier.
Cashier. All right, I'm running through this.
You could call that a clerk.
Yeah.
I'm running through this really fast. He stated that job because he didn't have to answer to a woman. Now, Sylvia, I'm going to go through this really fast. Sylvia, his daughter, the one he got pregnant, moves out into an apartment with this man that she meets. This man also knew that her baby was from Ronald, and he did not like that, but he was going to raise it as his own, as he should. He comes in the house when they first meet, and it was like this. This is how it really tore the relationship apart. Sheila's in the house. This is before she was like 18. She's in the house one day. When Ronald comes home from work, her stuff is gone.
Good for her for getting out.
Completely gone. Not only that, he's like, well, where'd she go? An hour later, a car pulls up. She gets out, and so does her new man, which is a bigger man, younger, stronger. He goes into the house. And this is from Ryan Green's book. That was his girl, Ronald Gene Simmons' girl. That was his baby. He made them both. He brought them both into the world. How dare that boy snatch her up from his grasp? She belonged to him. He goes into the house and says, I'm not here for pleasantries. You're going to stay away from Sylvia or I'm going to kill you. She's mine. And they leave. And that was it.
Wow.
And then that was years ago, but he's been dwelling on it for years. Mm-hmm. And now he's got, one chance to make it right.
Then Sheila came into sight. She had cut her hair. She was dressed up like one of the women about town. He could have walked past her without realizing it was his own daughter if it hadn't been for her face. Those eyes and those lips still called to him, even if they were smeared with garish red horror's war paint now.
That's rude.
That's the perfect description of what he's thinking. And he is dwelling on this. The car comes up the driveway. This is the 26th. Outside, Ronald could hear the baby girl, his baby girl, right? His daughter and granddaughter, 6-year-old Sylvia, laughing and playing. And then he sees Sheila, who destroyed his whole life and family. He comes outside and he's finishing his beer, and they kind of think, oh, maybe he's changed a little bit. Maybe he's mellowed out. This maybe not that bad. Dennis, obviously the first in. Now that Dennis McNulty is the guy that she found, the guy that goes in there and says, you're not going to ever talk to her again. This is all for the mother, for Becky, who's dead, by the way. So Dennis walks in first holding holding his wife's hand and little Sylvia's hand behind him. Now, they haven't seen each other in years, and that's what you just read with the, didn't recognize her. The family walked in slowly, and displayed on the floor in front of them were the presents, were the dead bodies there. Immediately, he shoots Dennis, which is a taller guy, the one that told him to F off, shoots him through the chest, blood sprays up the walls. Sheila is in shock. He looks at Sheila, because he can deal with Sylvia, 6-year-old. She ain't getting too far. Oh. He's got time to say what's on his mind, things that he's been thinking about for years, ever since she ruined his family and life.
It's all her fault.
He says the following.
Yeah, okay.
Quote, "You have destroyed me. You have destroyed your mother, your brother, your sisters. You have destroyed us all. You are a traitor, and I will see you in hell."
Nope, pretty sure you're the only one that's going to be there, buddy. So
if you're wondering why he chose to drown his own kids, is because he's saving those bullets for her. One bullet kills her, but he decides to unload the entire clip into her.
Wow.
No. Oh, no.
And if you want to read this.
He cast aside the pistol and snatched up that boy who looked nothing like him. That hideous depravity that his daughter had wrought on the world. He wrapped his shaking hands around that wrong thing, and he ground his hands together as if it was the only way to keep the world from ending. He crushed that little boy's throat until he was certain that he would never breathe again. Then he took a staggering step to toss the tiny corpse out into the mud. He spat after the boy. It would have done worse if he didn't have other business to attend to. Which little boy was that?
Yeah. So this is Sheila's son with McNulty.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 4 of them that came in. Sorry, this is a little confusing, but Sheila married Dennis McNulty.
And they had a child together.
They had a child together, Michael McNulty, which was 1 year old. And then Sylvia was 6. So it's 4 of them that he's got to kill at this point. He picks up little 6-year-old Sylvia, his own daughter / granddaughter. He doesn't care about her.
I feel like family members should never have to have a slash in the, in the descriptor.
He picks up...
Ever.
Well, you ain't from the damn South, and...
It's a tumbleweed, not a tree, we talked about.
He picks up 6-year-old Sylvia, his own daughter and granddaughter. She's trying to slap away, and then his hands go around her. He sees those tears pouring out of her eyes, and then her eyes are staring at him. Ryan Green describes it as, it was like she was daring him to look away, but he would not look away. Her slaps eventually got weaker. Her eyes glazed over. Her body went limp. He kept squeezing as if he would never let go long after she was dead. Now, Sheila, as I said before, was the only body not tossed into the cesspit besides the 2 kids in the car. He picked up the lifeless body and put it on the dining room table, almost like to present it. This is the feast type of thing. I shouldn't use that word. It's not like that. He gets the finest tablecloth he could find, covers up the body, took the boy and tossed him into the trunk of the other trunk of the car, poured kerosene all in the house to cover the smell, and now he feels good. He placed the 7 bodies in total inside the cesspit outside, and he goes to the bar. It's New Year's Day. He's going to drink whatever the hell he wanted. And it was the day after Christmas, I mean. So
Boxing Day.
Yeah, his family is free. He is happy as hell now at the bar. He just annihilated all of his family. A good ending to the story, right?
For him.
Yeah.
But he's sitting at the bar and he's like, it's a great ending, but wait, I still have some unfinished business as far as
Himself?
some people who rejected me recently.
No.
This is a lot, but I'm going to power through it. This is crazy. He says, screw it. I didn't kill my whole family. He goes to Walmart the next morning, restocks his ammo supply. He goes to those law offices, Pill Eddy and Gibbons law firm where he was first fired from. He wears a straw cowboy hat. He walks in. Kathy Kendrick, who had a restraining order against him, recognized him immediately. He smiles at her, lifts up the gun, and pulls the trigger. And in fact, if you're wondering how the cops even knew about this, the family at home, they didn't. This was the 14 dead at his house. they didn't know about. They, at this point, is where the story starts for the cops. The day after Christmas, they think a madman is shooting up the places that fired him. So they're like, shit, we got 2 dead. This is terrible. Then they go back to the house.
And then they find
14.
There was a bullet hole in the wall above Kendrick's desk. Her body was found slumped on the ground. There was blood pouring out of a wound on the back of her head, blood so bright and red that it surprised the onlookers. She was still alive when they found her. They said that she was still breathing despite having a bullet gone right through her head, although she had faded before an ambulance could arrive. Nobody knew who had shot her. Wow. So she did die in the ambulance.
Yeah. Next, he goes to the oil company. He switches from a cowboy hat to a baseball hat. He came on the site and immediately one of the guys recognized him. So he starts shooting and he shoots one of the managers, J.D. Chaffin, shot dead immediately. Russell Taylor was next. He was the owner of the Taylor Oil Company and the Sinclair Mini Mart. Russell shot twice, badly wounded, but he lived. Julie Money, which there's a really good interview of her. She actually talks about the bullet grazes her hair. She plays dead. There's your lesson. Play dead. Okay. She plays dead and he thinks she's dead. So she survives completely survives. He switches hats again. He goes to the mini mart. Rebecca Woolery was shot in the chest. The manager, David Saller, runs in. He takes a chair, throws it at this madman, knocks his aim off. David Saller was shot but survived. Ronald runs out. Next, he goes to the Woodline Motor Freight to find Joyce Butts, right? The woman that was in charge of him. Once in the chest, once in the head. Boom. Miraculously, she ain't one of the 16. She survived. She got shot in the chest, once in the head, survived. Vicky Jackson was next. Another employee, another woman, crouching on the floor. He aimed at her head. This is very important. Vicky Jackson, this turns everything around. Shoots Joyce Butts, the manager, the supervisor that was trying to tell him what to do. Vicky Jackson was there. He didn't particularly like her anyway because she's, a woman. He picks up his small caliber pistol, points it right on his forehead. He crouches on the floor. She's sobbing. She's whimpering, crying. And then he stops. He doesn't pull the trigger. He's done. He just stops. He stops the rage. He's looking at her and he just doesn't do it.
I did not expect that.
No, me either.
All the fire, all the hate, all the shit, the Vietnam missions, all that stuff inside him is gone. The everything's just gone. That woman survived because he just stopped.
Wow. Interesting.
He sits down on the table, like right next to her. This is in the office. She's whimpering. He says, "Can you call the police?" She's, "Okay." Picks up the phone. He says, quote, "I've come to do what I wanted to do. It's all over now. I've gotten everybody who wanted to hurt me." Maybe she said something nice to him one time. Maybe she said, "Good morning," or "I hope you have a good Christmas." Maybe she did something. Police sirens are approaching. She's sitting there whimpering. He asks how her Christmas is going. He asked if she has a cigarette. They both light a cigarette, make small talk. She is like, when are the cops getting here? This is terrifying. He was completely content. That photo you saw of him getting arrested with a smile on his face, that's him from now on. It drained. He's just done. He's done.
Wow.
Crazy. They sat there and smoked. The cops arrested him. They didn't know his entire family was murdered. He didn't say a word. Never really said anything else. The cops were taking him to the station. One of the cops already knew him. He's like, they were actually taking him to the Arkansas State Hospital to do a psych test. On the way there, the cop asked him about his family. He knew he had a large family up on Mockingbird Hill.
Yeah.
How's the family doing? That cop driving the car got the impression, like a quiver in Ronald Gene Simmons' lip, something. Immediately he picked up the radio. Go to Mockingbird Hill, check on the family. He knew they were all dead. Ronald Gene Simmons didn't say a word. So I mean, this was the single largest mass murder in Arkansas history and the worst crime ever involving a single family in U.S. history.
Wow.
There were 14 of his own family, every one of them. Even though the guy that his daughter married, every one of them were dead. Military precision, military planning, death sentence by lethal injection, and 147 years in prison. Pled guilty just because he had to. If you see every picture, he's content. His life is just fine now, you know? So...
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy story. You had never thought. He just stopped. He He had the barrel right to her head. Said, I'm done.
That is one lucky lady.
Says, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm fine. It's like everything just is drained. You know, it's a good feeling. For him, it's a good feeling.
Yeah. It's almost, and I love this movie, so I don't really want to associate this with that, but it's almost like in Forrest Gump when Forrest Gump is running and then he runs across the country and he's just going and then he literally just stops. And he's like,
yeah,
I'm done now.
I'm tired.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I think I'll go home now. And then he turns around and walks away, and everyone that's following him is like,
What?
June 25th, 1990, at age 49, didn't care, didn't say anything, had no last words, walked in there. His life is finally put back together. They execute him by lethal injection. But that's it, man. That's the Ronald Gene Simmons story. That was requested by our good friend Alan. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was crazy, I know.
Yeah.
That was a lot of murders we just went through.
That was a lot of things.
I don't see how any other podcast would do that in one episode. I just can't imagine.
That was pretty brutal.
All right. Well, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a wonderful 4th of July.
Yeah. And
to all you Brits out there, thanks for letting us have our independence.
Yeah. Sorry. Happy U.S. Traders Day or whatever it is you call it over there.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call it?
Are y'all like pissed about that?
I think
they
they're
probably
over it
don't
by
want
now.
us now.
Yeah.
They don't want us now.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the recent news are like, y'all can have your problems.
I mean, we came over here and the land was just empty and free and there's no one here and we didn't have
It was totally fine.
We didn't have to slaughter any tribes or anything.
Yeah, it was totally fine.
Yeah. And there were a few people, but we, put them on reservations. I'm talking about the Indians.
Right.
We,
Native Americans.
Slaughtered them.
Yeah, this is not a
Right.
positive
Like
time in
Columbus,
history.
not a good dude.
And we celebrate this.
Columbus
Yeah.
has been canceled, just like all like the Confederate leaders.
Yep.
All right, but that's it. That's what I got. Talk Murder Me. Talkmurder.com to see all the photos. I still put photos and stuff up there. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We have tomorrow off, so I'm pretty happy about that. If you want to do some UFO stuff, ancient aliens, I'm really getting into it, and I'm going to show you that we're not alone. Or maybe we are. I just don't know yet. Anyway, if you like this, talkmurder.com/join to support us. It really helps. Like I said, we record every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to subscribe and listen for the podcast. Huh?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
The
Okay.
challenge.
We did issue a challenge out there. I think we have 1,400 YouTube subscribers or something like that. I said within 30 days.
So that's August 4th.
August 4th, if I can get 2,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel by August 4th, 30 days from now, I will make up girl an episode.
And August 13th is my birthday, so we'll have Lizzie Borden by then.
I will take makeup and I will try to put it on my face while doing an episode, like an older murder, like an 1800s type murder. I will figure out how to put stuff.
Can he dress up as Lizzie Borden for my Lizzie Borden story?
I like it.
How about I do it and you do the Lizzie Borden that day? Well, they're not going to hit it anyway. But anyway, 2,000, if you can hit it, probably not.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck.
We're gonna
Get everyone's phones, people.
And then also the Discord. If you join, you also have access to our Discord, which we pretty much monitor. I mean, I get notifications. Well, I get notifications all the time, and so I like to keep
I
up
don't
with
have it set
everyone.
up to set up notifications.
You don't?
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Shamarama, we don't have friends either. That's why we don't have. That's why we don't have very many people on it.
We're gonna do some Jello shots today with the three of us and my mom.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's all we got. So until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.